Hello, hello, everybody. Happy Monday. It is Monday. It's not Thursday. It's not a Thursday where I say Monday or a Monday where I say Thursday. It is Monday, April 11th, and I am excited to be here. How's everybody doing? Hi, Margie. Hey, Glennis. Hi, Laura. Hi, Julie. Hello, KK. Who else is here? Awesome. So happy. Got up at 3:30, dressed already. Woke up at 1 a.m. and tossed and turned. All I could think about was the gel printing. That's funny, Julie. Oh, we knew that you were just so anxious to see us that you just couldn't wait any longer. You had to get up at 1. Nothing makes you want to make stuff like having no room for the new stuff. Right, Laura? If there's no room to put new stuff, I'm definitely motivated to make stuff so I can make some room. I'm excited to be here. Today's Monday 11th. Today's hashtag Monday Jumpstart Creativity. And if you didn't get all of last week's in yet, you still can do that. Monday was hashtag Monday Jumpstart Collage. Thursday was hashtag Mass Make File Folders. And of course, don't forget to come back and comment on this and any other videos that are on the YouTube channel. And make sure that you put in your comment hashtag 1000 subs to get yourself in the drawing for the box of crafty goodness that is building. You can comment on every single video in there and you get an entry for every single one that you comment on and leave hashtag 1000 subs. I have seen some comments where you're not leaving hashtag 1000 subs, and that's okay. If you really don't want to be in the drawing, that's totally up to you. Nobody's required to. But if you want to be in the drawing, make sure you put hashtag 1000 subs. So today is a creativity workshop. I hear a lot, and we've all felt it, but I hear a lot. I'm in a slump. I'm just not feeling very creative. I don't know what to do. I can't think of things. I'm just in one of those creative funks. Anybody ever felt that? Hi, Sandra Lou. Welcome. Finally got one file folder done. Yay! Put the picture up. I'm sure it's not lame. Love the bee, Julie. That I know. That's a stamp. That's a stamp I have. I pulled the stamp out, realized I hadn't stamped him yet, so I stamped him and then just colored him in one day while we were sitting here chatting. So, see what I might stamp on this one this week. So, hi, Sylvia. Excited to share. I am too. I'm excited to have you here. I want you to... Thank you. No negative self-talk. That is right, Fifi. Margie will not be lame. It will never be lame. Today is prime for lots of input. So do share your thoughts and your questions and all of those things today. It's a creativity workshop kind of focused on what to do when you are feeling a creativity slump, or when you are not feeling creative, or you want to be creative and it's just not coming to you. It's just, what however you want to term it. Where's the bee? The bee's right here. However you want to term it, it's kind of the same thing. There's those moments where you're just not feeling super creative and you want to. It might be a time where you actually have some time, some free time, some time alone to sit down and be creative, and you're just not feeling very creative. And that's frustrating because now I feel like I'm losing my time where I could be creating. So that was last week. This is this week. So today is Monday Jumpstart Creativity. And before we end today, you will know what to post for that. There will be something specific. So Henry Matisse, a great artist, said creativity takes courage. Creativity takes courage. When I first read that, I thought, why? What does that mean? And then I thought about it. So as you hear that, Creativity takes courage. What comes to your mind? Pop into the chat just real quick and spit things out. Why would creativity take courage? What could he mean by that? Why would it take courage? We all fear the blank page or a creative slump, but really it is invisible fear. Yes, that is true. Courage against invisible fear. Yes, I love that term, invisible fear. I was just trying to think of something that, it'll come to me. Fear. What is fear? What is fear? What is fear? What expectations? Hope I'm spelling right. False expectations appearing real. That's what I believe fear is. Take anything that makes you feel that fear, that requires courage. What is it? Is it showing your art in public? Okay. Fear. Is that false expectations appearing real? Why are you afraid of that? What is it? Because of what you're expecting or what you're not expecting? Are you hoping for one thing but expecting that people might respond in a different way? Well, why are you creating those responses already? You don't even know, and you're creating them for somebody else. Those are false expectations, and they appear real in our mind, which is why our mind goes, I'm afraid. So, hey, Wendy. Exactly. We can't even call ourselves artists. See? How many of you say, I'm a paper crafter or I'm a crafter? But when I call you an artist, you say, I'm not really an artist, I'm a crafter. How many of you are afraid to call yourself an artist? Why? That's a good one right there. So, hi, Toby. Throw in the chat real quick. And I would really love a lot of your participation today because it's the things that you're thinking. And don't be afraid to just throw something in chat. You know, everybody else is thinking the same kind of things as well. And we just need to get them out because I can't think of them all to say them. I'll say the ones I think about, but I need your thoughts too. Why are you afraid to call yourself an artist? Or why might somebody else, somebody that you've known, why might somebody be afraid to call themselves an artist? I say, I love your work. You are a wonderful artist. And many of you have said to me, I don't really think of myself as an artist. I'm a pretty good crafter, but I don't really think of myself as an artist. Well, isn't a crafter one who creates? Isn't one who creates an artist? But why? Why don't you think it? Why does it make you uncomfortable if I call you an artist? Why don't you want to refer to yourself as an artist? Because I'm not. What do you mean because you're not? What's the definition of an artist? Hey, Judy. Artist has a lot of implications and baggage. Like what? That's exactly where we're going, Laura. Like what? What are the implications of artist? What does that mean? What does artist mean to you that you don't think you fit into or that you are afraid to be termed as? Creative person. Okay. Isn't an artist a creative person? I'm curious on get ideas off other people's ideas. I just can't think it up. Okay. KK, you take ideas from things that you see around. They inspire you. You might do something similar, but you're going to do something different with it. Something, no matter how small, you're going to do something different just because you are a different person. But you are inspired by those around you. Okay, an artist has a special talent. Okay. And if you have the talent of taking pieces of paper and making something beautiful with it, hi, Dawn, is that not a special talent? Or why isn't that special talent? Well, let me back up a minute. All right, then, who's an artist? Who do you consider an artist? Not who, what? What special talent does somebody have to have in order to be considered an artist? What would that special talent need to be for me to be able to call you an artist? I wish you could too, Sylvia. Sylvia, would you like to come on with me? Even just audio. You don't have to come on video. You could come on audio. We could have a conversation about this because I think you'd be the perfect one for me to have this conversation with. Steven Stizer is an artist. What does Steven Stizer do? Sometimes people feel like they need external validation, be that praises or prizes or selling. Okay. Does having external validation make you an artist? Because other people validate your work, you are now an artist. Sylvia, I will send you a link. And if you click on that link on your phone, and it will ask you, let's see, Sylvia, do you happen to have a laptop or a computer handy beside your phone? We've never done this, so let's take just a second because Sylvia has never been in, so doesn't know this process. All the praises embarrasses me. Okay, but that doesn't mean that you're not an artist. You just like being a private artist. Is that right? Sylvia, do you have a computer or a laptop handy that you could come in? Okay. All right, Sylvia, I'm going to shoot you a link. Sylvia, is it an Apple or a Windows? Let's see here. We are going to have a great conversation about this. There is so much involved here. All right. So, Sylvia, I just sent you a link. It is Windows. Okay. So, probably Firefox, maybe Safari. You probably have a Safari. If you have Firefox browser, try Firefox. And when you click on it, it will probably open up Safari. See if it goes in. If it doesn't go in, copy the link and go to firefox.com and open up a Firefox browser and put it in there. But it might come in on Safari. Let's see how it does. Marzi gets embarrassed. I know. Okay, so why? Let's explore that for a minute, Julie. Margie, I totally understand what you're saying. That's why I want to explore it. Why do you get embarrassed? Why is it embarrassing if somebody sees something you've made? I'm not saying artwork, and they love it and they rave about it. Why is that uncomfortable for you? Why is it embarrassing? I made an album and Margie loved it and she raved about it. And there was a time that I would have gotten really embarrassed. And why is that? But when Margie did that, it just made me really, really happy that somebody loved what I did. And because I loved doing it. So if somebody else loved it and received it the way I intended it as I made it, it made me really happy that she loved it. And then I wanted her to have it because she loved it as much as I did. So why? Always wonder if it's sincere. Okay. Okay, I totally understand that. Anything else? We are raised not to accept compliments. That's a very good point. That's a very good point. And that is so very true. We are raised not to accept compliments. When somebody compliments you, is your instinct to say, oh, no, it's nothing. It's not that big a deal. It's just this. It's just a little this or a little that. Or, if somebody compliments you, one of the best things I could say or share with you is when somebody compliments you, pause for a moment before you respond so you don't respond like that, and merely say thank you and leave it. Don't follow that with thank you, but it's not that great, or not sure what, all these things. Just say thank you. And let's see here. Low self-confidence. You really want people to love your work, but outside is difficult to accept compliments. Yes, maybe because I didn't get praise when I grew up from dad. Yep. Yes, doesn't have to be sincere. It's off the cuff and always. Yes. All of those things are so true. And it takes a while to learn to just say thank you and leave it at that. But what you do is when somebody compliments something, just hesitate for a second before you respond. So instead of responding instinctually, like we always have, you can just say thank you and nothing else and leave it at that. Let that become comfortable. Is it because if somebody compliments you and you say thank you, do you feel like you're patting yourself on the back? Do you feel like you're building yourself up and saying, oh, I'm so great. I'm so wonderful. I'm such a wonderful artist. All of that. Hi, Gigi. Is that why? Is it because you feel like you're being, selfish and self-centered and all of that? Well, if you don't feel that way, then you're not being that way. If you aren't going in with that feeling about yourself, then you're not being that way and you're not expressing that, and that's not what's coming across. And Judy has a very, very good point. When I talk with a lot of you and you're uncomfortable about showing people some things you do, or there's people who have been in here quite a while before and they haven't posted anything, and I will see something because a lot of you send them to me privately, and I love that. It is so inspirational. There have been times that I've said to you, will you please post that in the group? It is so wonderful. It's beautiful. And a lot of people will be inspired by it. Just, will you please share it? And people say, I've always been uncomfortable with sharing it publicly. My response is always, there is no better place that I can think of for you to share to get honest feedback and compliments, response than Happy Paper People. This is just that kind of group. You can start out. I started out with an idea in mind of the kind of group I wanted to create, and you just keep going forward with that thought in mind that this is what I'm wanting to create, and keep searching for that kind of people to come in. But you don't know if it's really going to happen. But the thing is when you get a group of people in that are like that, those people attract like people, and then they attract more like people. And I just told Judy today that people who are not like this, people who are not like-minded, tend to weed themselves right out of the group because they don't really fit in. It's not their place. it doesn't feel home to them. It feels home to you because you are honest, sincere people who, when you see your friend's work, you will give an honest compliment. And when somebody asks for feedback, have you ever noticed people give honest feedback in such a kind and loving way? If I'm asking for feedback, it's because I feel like it needs something, it needs improvement, but I can't figure out what it is. And I really want feedback. I don't want to hear, oh, it's wonderful, just the way it is. I'm looking for something. And this group will give that to you, but in a kind and loving way. And ideas. There's no better group to post your work with, or to share your ideas or your work, your artistry, and know that the compliments are going to be sincere. I'm looking through the list of who's in here, and I don't think there's a single one of you that comments on people's posts with anything insincere. If you truly didn't feel it, couldn't say anything, you just wouldn't comment. But the comments that you leave are absolutely sincere. So you have to stop and say, well, if I'm that way and the people that I know are that way when we're commenting on others people's posts, why wouldn't they be the same way when they're commenting on my work? They are the same way when they're commenting on your work. And everyone is that way. And so it's a great place to start getting comfortable with sharing your work outside of yourself and letting people compliment it in whatever way they want to compliment it, and just saying thank you. Julie is really good at, when she posts and people comment, she's really good at responding to their comment with thank you or thank you very much. She's very good at that. And that's exactly what we all need to get to or be comfortable with, is just saying thank you. If I compliment you and then your response is negating what I've said, it's negating my compliment because you're telling me all the reasons why that isn't true and you're not a great artist and all of these things. What are you saying to me? You're saying to me that what I'm saying is not sincere, and what I'm saying is not real, and that I can't be right. And that's not right. I know what I love, and I know if I look at it and I really like it, and I'm giving a sincere compliment, you can't tell me I'm wrong. I can't tell you you're wrong. So, there's always going to be somebody that likes our work, and there's always going to be somebody that doesn't. And that is totally okay, because if we were all alike, what a boring world it would be. So let's practice just saying thank you. Christy, hi. We've just started, not too well. I guess, gosh, it's already been 20 minutes. Wow. Okay. So, Sylvia, having problems do you clicked on the link? Sylvia, can you speak to your phone and let it type for you? Maybe it'd be faster. I don't know. I think there's a sense of defeat, though, when someone says you should have did it this way or added this, and especially when people say nothing at all when you talk about your art. That's a good point, Wendy. That's a really good point. And I can't think of a time in this group when anybody said, you should have done this or you should have done that. There's always, without exception, there are always alternative ways that things could have been done. Always. And there has to be, because we all think differently. We're all different people. We all have different ideas. And again, there's always going to be people who love what you did, people who like what you did, and somebody who just, not that they hate it, but it's just not their cup of tea. And that is totally okay. Margie is awesome for always being there and supporting every live I do, even though I know that half of the things I'm doing are not her cup of tea. She doesn't want to do them. She has no interest in doing them, but she appreciates it and she will be there to support me. Okay, so I value Margie's opinion and I trust Margie in what she says because she's told me, I don't want to try that. That's not my cup of tea, but I'd love to watch you do it. You know, I could not care for something and I don't want to try it, but I'd love to watch you do it. Here's the other thing. There are arts. There's so many arts, so many ways to be an artist, to be creative. Let's talk about that, just creative. Maybe you don't like the word artist. Let's go back to creative. There are so many ways to be creative. They don't all appeal to all of us. Some of us like to be creative in one way and some in another way. So you might do something that I don't care to do. Okay, I don't hate it, but I don't care to knit. I learned to knit and crochet at the same time. And every now and then I crochet. I like that, but I don't really care to knit. That doesn't mean that I can't appreciate knitting. If I see something that one of you has knit, I have a great appreciation for it because I know what it takes. I know how much work it is. And the fact that you can do it and make it look like it does, and I don't care for it, man, I'd almost be more, gee, I wish I liked to do that as much as she did, because I can appreciate the artistry of it, even though I don't care to do it. Does that make sense? I can also go to, you can all go to an art gallery and you can walk around and see all kinds of paintings on the wall. There might be some that you're just drawn to. You really love them. And there's others that you just don't quite get. But you can stand there and look at it a bit. And you can say, that is not a piece of art I want hanging on my wall in my home. However, as an artist, I can look at this painting and I can appreciate the creativity and art in it. And I can also appreciate the courage it took to do this and to put it out here. Because maybe it is different. Maybe it is very different than what mainstream is. And I appreciate the courage of anybody to put out art that's different than someone else's. So just because we don't all like the same things or think the same way doesn't mean we can't appreciate each other's art. You don't have to want to have that in your home or use it. You know, might not be the kind of journal you want to use, but you can appreciate the artistry that it took and the work that it took, and even glean ideas and inspiration from it. Does that make sense to everybody? Let me go back here. Okay, so I'm going to pop back all the way back here in chat. Julie, okay, so when Julie says thank you, she's appreciating the person that complimented her creativity. That's awesome. That's exactly it. Try and post things that didn't turn out so well, but should say more positive things about it. Well, here's the thing. That's a big issue with social media. If everybody only posts the perfect pictures, how does that make everybody feel? We all feel horrible about ourselves because ours aren't all perfect. Our life isn't all perfect. Everything isn't the way we see everybody else's pictures being. And then we feel like we can only post the perfect ones, right? Because we don't want to look less than. So I greatly appreciate when somebody posts something, when Julie posts something and says, this didn't turn out at all the way I wanted. This is what I was trying to do. And I was hoping for, whatever, or I don't know what I was hoping for, but it wasn't this. I don't care for it at all. It just didn't turn out at all the way I thought it would, or I was hoping for. I appreciate that because especially when she says, this is what I did, then I can say, okay, if that's what she did and that's what she got, what could we try differently? What could I try? I was going to try that too, but maybe I'll try something a little bit different. And then maybe I'll have an idea that I could share with Julie. Hey, Julie, step 3, instead of doing that, I tried this because that didn't work. So I tried this and this is what I got. and that's how we share. That's collaboration. Collaboration doesn't mean we have to get together and plan a big thing and we collaborate, but we collaborate in sharing the ideas and the creativity and what works and what doesn't work. Coming late, so very sorry. It's okay. Always wait till things are done to post. I don't like sharing things in progress. That's understandable. Laura, that brings up a whole nother point. If you've ever seen or been around, painters are kind of famous for this. A lot of other art fits in too. I'm thinking about some mixed media art that I've done that definitely fits into this. But painters don't like to show their paintings until they're complete. Did you ever wonder why? Because as you're creating art, and you can watch this in your own art, like I said, I see it a lot in my mixed media. So you have the idea and you start out and you get going, and there's a point where it just looks blah. It just looks awful. It doesn't look like anything. Now, you have a plan and I'm only on step 2 and it looks really awful. By the time I get through step 8, it's going to look great because I have the idea in my head. But painters don't like showing their work before it's complete because there's always that point in the painting where it looks awful. And they don't want to be judged for the type or quality of artists that they are at that stage. And I understand that because I've looked at some mixed media things and people want to see the stages. And I thought, oh, that's it just looks off here. It looks like I don't know what I'm doing. It looks like a big mess. But that, I have to go through that because it's all in layers. So you have to get that layer in there. And so think about that. Think about that. Think about that also when you're looking at somebody else's. Is it complete or is this in process? I think there's a sense of defeat though when someone says, "Oh, you should." Okay, and that's again while I go back to this group of happy paper people. I can't think of a time when anybody ever said to anybody else, "I think you should have done this or should have done that." I've seen that in other groups. And that to me is not artists supporting artists, women supporting women, people supporting people. That it just isn't. I understand that our ideas are not all the same. And so we might start out saying, let's make a tag. And I might have A in mind. And we all start out by doing step 1. And then step 2, maybe we all do the same. And then step 3, I do this and you do that. And step 4 is something different as well. And so we end up with different tags. How can I say, I think you should have done blah, 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 because your vision was completely different than mine? If I just stop and look at it and appreciate it for the difference that it is, it's probably something that I wouldn't even have thought of doing because your mind thinks differently than mine does. So that's important to remember. But this is definitely the group to start getting comfortable and getting confident in showing your work and your creativity, because you won't get that kind of thing here. And I won't even go so far as to say we won't tolerate it because we've never had it. That's not the kind of family this is. This is the loving, supportive family. We've only ever had a couple of people that were in here for different purposes, and they just weed themselves out because they don't fit in. They don't fit in. So let's see here. And, if people say nothing at all, there's a fear there. If they say nothing at all, you don't know what they're thinking. And so you have a fear. And then what is that fear? We interpret or we assign a meaning to their silence, because we can't just have silence be okay. So if they don't say anything, then we assign that to, oh, they don't like it, so they don't know what to say. Again, don't let fear take over and do that, because their silence might be, wow, They're just thinking about it and listening and taking it. And maybe if you're talking about making junk journals and they don't know anything about them, they're just taking it in and absorbing it. So they don't even know how to process it yet. They're just thinking about it all. Maybe they're thinking, that's not something that would go in my home, but I can really appreciate the artistry that went into it. Look how intricate that is, or look how detailed that is, or look how vintage that looks. How does she make that look so vintage? Okay, again, you can appreciate things that are not your style, but it is difficult sometimes for people, especially when it's unpracticed, to know what to say when they look at a piece of art or hear of a piece of art and it's not their style. It wouldn't go in their home, but they can appreciate the artistry. How do they compliment and sound sincere? Because I really think most people want to sound sincere. So I think it's uncomfortable. People don't know what to say. They don't know how to say, that's not something I would hang in my home, because that sounds rude. However, I can really appreciate the artistry. I'm amazed at this, and I love that. People don't know how to express that. Do you know how to express that? Think about that. So when somebody posts something in the group and it's not something you would put in your home or you would use because it's just not your style, but there are things about it that you can really appreciate, how do you comment? Do you comment? Is that the one that you just passed by? What could you comment? Think about how we could comment more on each other's posts in that manner, even if it's not exactly our style. Every comment doesn't have to be, wow, that is so beautiful. I absolutely love that. Every comment doesn't need to be that in order to be positive. What kind of comment could you leave, even if it wasn't your style, but saying something that you really admire or appreciate in the artistry of it? And then when we read those comments, I appreciate those comments even more, because I know there's a person that this probably isn't their thing, but either they care enough about me or they've looked at it enough to find and understand and appreciate the creativity and the artistry and the time that went into it, that they are commenting on some of that. They're taking their time to do that, even if this isn't their thing and they don't really care for it. That to me has great value. That person cares enough to share that. We need to take those comments in that manner and understand that and think about how we can comment when it isn't our thing and not just pass by, but share a sincere compliment. Let's see here. Papered Rooster, that's Wendy. That's the thing about this group. I don't think I've ever seen anyone say you should have. See, I agree, Gigi. Things are said so much nicer than that as suggestions, not you should have. So, and usually the suggestions, I think I've only seen suggestions when somebody asks for it. There are a lot of times when somebody puts something up and says, I'm not sure I'm feeling this. I'm not sure I am satisfied with this. What suggestions do you have for me? What could I try? And then people will say, maybe you could try adding this, or what if you moved that over here and put this up there, and things like that. Yeah, always kind and generous and caring, never with an intent to hurt or cut down. When you look at something you make, you see it didn't match up to your plan or vision, but someone else sees what it is without all that weight. Yes, Laura, that's a really good point. We tend to start whatever we're doing with this end result in mind. And then we make it and we're going along, and it might take a completely different turn than what we started with, what we had in mind. And we end up over here when we thought we were going to end up over here. Well, we need to do two things. First, we need to stop and let go of this for a minute, write it down, because we can start another project to go over here, and then look at this one for what it is. Not say, this is awful, because it isn't this, and that's what I intended to do, or what I started out thinking I was going to do. Look at this as a standalone project for what it is and say, I didn't even know I had that idea within me, where it went totally over here, took a left turn, and just analyze it and look at it for where it went and say, I like that too. I still want to come over and make this because I still have this vision in my mind. But I really do like this. I really do like where this ended up. It's pretty cool. I just hadn't even thought of it. And sometimes it takes looking at it for a while and thinking about it, because we instantly go, oh, I'm so wrong. I'm so bad. I didn't do what I was going to, and it didn't go where I wanted it to. And see, I'm not that great, and I'm not that creative, and I'm not a good artist, because it didn't go from A to Z and I had Z in mind. Instead, it went from A to S, and I wasn't thinking S. We need to let go of Z, write it down, do it again later, and go, I wasn't thinking S, but that's kind of cool. But you're right, when other people look at it, they don't come in going, okay, A to Z, I'm looking for Z. They come in going, what did you create? And they look at it and go, wow, that is really cool. Now, that might be a time that you then think that that is an insincere compliment, because you intended to make Z. And if you made something that's not Z and you're disappointed, and somebody else comes in and thinks it's amazing, you think it's insincere. How can it be amazing when that's not what I intended to make? Am I making sense? Is this registering with anybody anywhere? If we can let go of this and say, I'm going to do another project, and I'm going to intend to head for Z, that one. But this is now a completely different project. It's project S. And somebody likes that because, like Laura said, they don't have the weight. They don't have the baggage. They don't have the expectation. You had the expectation of this, and they don't have that expectation. They are just open to whatever they see. This is what you presented them. They love it. It's a sincere compliment. Used to tell Mom she was beautiful, and she always responded with, oh, no, I'm not. I always told her, yes, you are beautiful inside and out. Okay, Julie, how many times have people said that to us? And we do the same thing. No, I'm not. And why is that? Because we don't feel great about ourselves, or we don't feel like we're as good as we could be, or we're, a little bit overweight. And we saw somebody who isn't, or we don't have as beautiful of hair or as this other person, or all the things. But everybody doesn't love or isn't attracted to and doesn't see the same things as beautiful. That's why everybody is so different, because someone that sees me as beautiful may not see, can't even name anybody, but some movie star may not even see them as beautiful, because we're so different. To someone who tells you that you are beautiful, you are beautiful. And how did it make you feel when she said, oh, no, I'm not? Was there just a little piece of you that hurt? Because you're like, she does not even really understand that I think she's beautiful? Would it have felt so much better if she had just said, thank you, Julie. Thank you. Even if nothing else, just thank you. Could have been, thank you. I appreciate you. You make me feel great. It could be just, thank you. And that is not conceited. That is not self-centered to accept a compliment like that. Feeling good about ourselves and knowing that somebody else loves and cares and appreciates us is not the same as being conceited and self-centered and high and mighty. It's not. And we do need to feel good about ourselves to have confidence. You can be humble. We can be humbly self-confident. We can feel good about ourselves humbly. We can be kind and gentle and loving and feel good about ourselves. In fact, the better we feel about ourselves, the easier it is to be kind and loving and generous to others, because we feel that we have plenty to give. Sometimes it's hard to give things to others if we don't feel it for ourselves or in ourselves, because there's even a little bit of jealousy. Well, why should I let them feel good or help them feel good when I don't feel good? So start with accepting the compliments and the comments from others. Just trust that they are sincere. And you know what? What if they're not? What if somebody takes the time to leave a comment or pay a compliment and it's not sincere? And you say thank you. Then what? So what? So what? If they took the time to say it, whether it was sincere or not, and you accept it and say thank you, that's amazing. That's awesome. That's the best thing that you could do. Don't even worry about their intent. Let's see. Judy, I was afraid to death when Glynis invited me to the group. And with that, I sounded out terrible to her, and Glynis set me straight. Thank you, Glynis. And Judy, how do you feel about the group now? I was hurt by another group, but Glynis didn't treat me that way. I found out you all are not like that, and thank you all. This is a most amazing group. I know everybody says that about their group, but there are some that are different than others, and this is a group that is different. It is really nice to hear in this group. Thank you, Glynis, for inviting Judy. Dad always responded with, you shouldn't have done it this way. And then, yeah, you know, Julie, that brings up another thing. There's a lot of reasons, and we won't go into the whole psychology of why people do that, because that'll use up all our time. And there's a couple things I really want to do in our last hour. But there is a whole psychology, reasons why people respond with, oh, you should have done it this way. You should have done it that way. You know, you shouldn't this, you shouldn't that. But what you do need to know is that when you get a response like that, and it doesn't matter what it's about, whether you're painting, whether you're paper crafting, whether you're crocheting, whatever it is, unless there's a pattern that you were supposed to follow when you're crocheting something and you didn't follow the pattern, and oops, you were supposed to do that there, and that's why it's not working now, because you didn't follow the pattern. Okay, that's understandable. But when it comes to creativity and art and doing things that are creative, anytime somebody says you should have done this or should have done that, the one thing to remember is it's not about you. It's never about you. It's about them. The problem isn't with you. The problem is not you and that you didn't do it right, or that you didn't do it this way, or you did it that way. It's never that. The problem is with them. The problem lies within them. And if you remember that, we go back to your comments on it's hard when somebody says you should have done this or should have done that, and then you feel horrible, you feel embarrassed, you feel whatever. If you remember that those comments are not about you, they are about the person who's making the comment, then it's easy for you not to be hurt or not to be embarrassed, because you know you're not the one that has a problem or did anything wrong. But you can feel a little bit sad for the person who made the comment or said whatever they said, because there's something really hurting inside of them. And that's why they said it. It is all about them, not about you. Remember this: hurt people hurt people. Hurt people hurt people. That means that people who are hurting inside, whether it's because of unresolved issues in their life from childhood, things that are going on currently that are hurting them deeply, we all go through major trials. Some hurt worse than others. Some are more difficult than others. How do you handle them? Do you turn around and hurt other people because you don't want to be hurting alone? You just want to lash out? But people who are hurting deep down inside, they hurt other people. So when those comments come out, please remember, hurt people hurt people. It is never about you. It is always about them. So rather than you being hurt, being embarrassed, and being feeling wrong as an artist, just say, it's sad. It's sad that that person is hurting that bad, because they are hurting inside. The major barrier to skill acquisition isn't intellectual, it's emotional. Yes. When we create for ourselves. And I love to make me happy. I create for me. Sylvia is probably one of the best at that. Of everybody I know, the best at that. Being able to create for herself. Artists create what we want to create, and then put it out to the world and hope that somebody loves it as much as we did when we were making it. Because obviously we loved the idea, or we loved what we ended up with as we kept going. We create for ourselves. We create for creative release. We create for stress release, both. We create for the sake of creativity. We create because creative people have so much inside of them, so much creative, so many ideas, so many things always swirling around, that it needs to come out. And it feels good when it does. And we just hope that it feels good to somebody else too, that somebody else loves it as well. But if they do or if they don't, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. He was just trying to help, but I didn't feel good about it. That's a shame, Julie. Yep. Julie, I hope you remember that there might be something, if we could dig into it, back in his childhood, where that's how he was always spoken to. And now his brain has been trained that that's how he looks at things. And it has nothing to do with how much he loves you. But I will bet that every time he said that, you had that feeling of, oh, he doesn't love what I'm doing. I'm not good enough. And that's the trouble with that, is it makes us feel that because we have expectations, and when what they say doesn't meet our expectations, that fear comes out, and we translate that and we give it meaning, whether that's the meaning or not. We assign meaning to it. And that meaning says, I'm not good enough. We try to take responsibility. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy enough. I'm not a great artist. I'm just not going to show my stuff to anybody anymore because I don't want to feel that. It hurts. It's hard to feel. Like Sylvia said, create for yourself. And when we put it out there, if somebody doesn't like it, that's too bad. I'm really sorry you can't see what I see, the vision that I had in it. Somebody else is going to love it. Catching up on comments here. We create every day. How we stock our pantry, how we stack our dishes, how we shop for our husbands and children. You are so right, Sylvia. In fact, we talked about what is an artist, and you guys threw out a couple of things, but an actual definition of the artist from the dictionary, there are several of them. A person skilled at a particular task or occupation, like a surgeon who is an artist with the scalpel. Okay, I would say a good surgeon is an artist because he is skilled and can create a particular thing. Now, I kind of grew up thinking an artist was somebody who painted in that same manner, painted or drew. And I always wanted to be able to paint and draw. My mother could, just naturally, without lessons. And I couldn't, and I wanted to. I wanted to be an artist. But think of all the ways that you are creative, the way you design and organize your craft room, art room, studio, the way you organize your pantry, like Sylvia said, the way you cook dinner. You might be an artist with food. You might be an artist with taking whatever's in the kitchen and creating a great meal. You might be an artist in the garden. There are so many different ways to use your creativity, and you don't even realize how many times throughout the day, throughout the week, and the variety of ways that you are creative. In fact, every single thing that you do that you have to think about, how am I going to do it? In what manner, in what steps, in what order, in what process, how am I going to do it? You are using creativity. You are being an artist. Okay, I do the dishes and I look at how many dishes are in the sink, and I'm going to put them over here on the side, and I look and I already decide when I do the dishes, when I wash them by hand, where am I going to set that one on this mat so that I can get all of these dishes on that mat before I'm done and not have to stop and dry any of them to make more room. Creativity. If there's only 3, doesn't matter, set them anywhere. If there's a half a sink full, I need to put all the plates up here first, and then I'll stack the bowls, and then the big things over the top, and I can get them all on there, right? Creativity. Let's see here. When we create for our family, we don't want to make mistakes. When we create food, we don't want to make a mistake. Yes. Actually, more appreciation for it because I know what it took to make something I don't like to see. I am the same way, KK. I am the same way. If it's something that I don't like to do, I think, wow. I have great appreciation for somebody who did it and can do it. If I don't like to do that, I am very much appreciative of that. Or a type of art that I just can't figure out how to do because, it's not something that would fit in with my home. I wouldn't even know where to begin to paint this kind of or do this kind of art. That's amazing creativity to me. Yes, great appreciation. Paper Rooster is Wendy. Yes. Yes, you all inspire me to keep going. Yeah, you guys don't realize when you post things in the group how much it does inspire everybody else in the group. They may go and do the same process that you did if you write what your process was, and they may use different colors. They may use a different type of paper. They may use different mediums, but do the same kind of, that inspires them to try something. The things that work and the things that don't work. Both of them. Nobody judges and looks down on the things that don't work. That's the whole point of creativity, is that we're always trying things. Everything we do does not turn out perfectly or even as we want it. We do a lot of things to try. We do a lot of things as experiment. We do a lot of things to see what will happen if. That's the fun of creativity. I love the play because there is no expectation. I love when we're just playing because I don't have any expectation. And so it doesn't matter what it ends up like. I don't have an expectation, and so it can't be wrong. Therefore, I relax and I have more fun with it because I'm not hoping that it comes out this way or that way. There's no expectation. Let's see. I need to catch up here. Also, okay to let people not be happy with their stuff. There's a difference between no, you're wrong, it's great, and I know it doesn't feel like it to you, but I love it. Yeah, that's true, Laura. You cannot be completely happy with your stuff, but be aware of, are you always or perpetually not happy with your stuff? Do you accept when you do make something good, even if it turned out S and you were going for Z? Can you stop and look at it through different eyes and say, all right, It's not where I thought I was going with it, but it is it is okay. I like that. And that may take a bit to look at that. Or it could be that, yeah, I got to Z, but it's just still not, I'm still learning. It's still not quite what I wanted it to be. Even though it's Z, I wanted a capital Z. I wanted, and I'm still learning that process. So it's not quite what I wanted it to be. But somebody else looks at it and thinks it's amazing. Yeah, it's still okay to accept that compliment. You don't have to say, no, you're wrong, it's not great. You can say, or somebody who's giving the compliment doesn't need to say, oh, you're wrong, Laura, that's amazing. You can give that compliment by saying, I know it doesn't feel like it to you, or it might not be what you started out, intending to create, but I really love it, because it might be way more in that area than they ever even imagined, and you've just opened their eyes to something new. So yes, word choices. We could have a whole nother couple of hours on word choices. We'll do that someday. The challenge to not have butterflies and birds was hilarious for me. So many struggled with that challenge, but once you got out of the, it should be like this, everyone flew and soared. That was one of the best challenges we've ever had. Thank you, Margie. Because by taking away two things that you always just default to, because they're pretty, they fit in everywhere with everything, and they're just a go-to, made you dig into your creativity and think of something different. And you guys came up with some of the most amazing journals that month, just because you had to, by default, do something different. And some of you really saw that you could do something different than you thought that you could. And it really opened up some creativity. I totally agree with that. I appreciate honesty and supporting others' efforts. Even if the artist is not quite happy with the turnout, it makes it real that we all try. Remember, also, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Yes, exactly. Don, yeah, totally agree. And how you say it, again, it might not be what you thought we're going for, and you may not love it yet, but I do. I think it's pretty darn cool. Hey, Ray, how are you? Silence can also equate to, I haven't seen the post. Don't stress. I will love your work when I do see it. That is true, because you don't have a bunch of comments yet. Don't assume that people don't like it and are just passing it by. I often take a weekend away from social media and don't even get on Facebook. So if I don't see your post, and then I go catch up during the week, Monday, Tuesday, but I need that downtime. I just really need that downtime. So don't think because somebody hasn't commented that they're just passing it by and not commenting because they don't like it. Very good point. Something else, if you don't get a comment, some days I'm just feeling awful and I find it really hard to make that is true. There is a good portion of people in our community and in our group that deal with health issues. I do, and I know many of you do. And a lot of them being, autoimmune issues and, those types of things. We have good days and we have not so good days. I don't like bad days. So I just have good days and not so good days. But there's some days when maybe you're just laying there and you can't do much of anything and you're scrolling through, but it would just take too much energy to even comment. That doesn't mean that it wasn't seen and wasn't liked. And maybe they'll go back later if they can find it, or it pops up again on their scroll, on their feed. But yeah, don't assume. Don't go in with certain expectations, and don't assign. Here's the thing: we cannot assign meaning to somebody else's actions. We can't assign meaning to their silence. We just can't do that because we don't know what it meant. And we're assigning meaning based on our experience. And then maybe you need to look at it and say, am I thinking that means this because when I don't comment, that's what I mean? Usually in this group, it's no, of course not. That's not how I feel. then why would we think somebody else in our group would feel that way? Really some good food for thought. It is. We need to think about these things now and then because they really, really affect us. You said loved it or comment on the colors or whatever it is you like about it. Yes. Let's see. In other groups, some comments feel like a knife went in and twisted. Yeah, I agree, Julie. I totally agree. And I know that there's a lot of people afraid to post in certain groups because of that. Nobody wants to put themselves out there just to get, stabbed and feel awful about themselves. And that's not what we get in this group. That's not what we're all about. I love to motivate and encourage souls because I appreciate effort. That's exactly it. I might not love that type of art, but boy, can I appreciate your effort because I can look at that and know exactly what it takes to do it. And artist to artist, we appreciate that, even if we're not doing the same thing. Sylvia's right. Anyone that tries is going to fly. And I love to feel happy, and I want everyone to take pleasure in the joy of great effort. Yes. Yes. Not doing it because of the fear of what might come if you show it later. So let's see here. Sometimes projects tend to dictate where they end up. That's your creativity growing. Yeah, I might start out with Z in mind and I end up at S because as I'm going along, that project just kind of takes me there. That doesn't mean I can't, again, go back and do Z, but don't set those expectations on yourself, and then don't assign meaning to it for yourself when you ended up at S when you thought you were going to head to Z. Don't assign meaning to that. It's not wrong and it's not bad. Yes, I would love to pet her journals with her too. I'm starting my own little shelf of journals that I love to pet. I can see them. They're right here across from my desk, and I love looking at them. They're very inspirational. I love looking at your work. You guys inspire me so much. Let's see. Always apprehensive to post what I make. Ray, you may want to go back and listen to the first hour that you missed. That's exactly what we talked about and why we are. There's no such thing as universal taste or universally good, but often we have. Yes, Laura, that is so well said. We put it out there thinking everybody knows what is good and what is not. And this isn't good or isn't good enough. And if I put it out there, it's not going to be a good enough. Do we all look alike? Do we all speak alike? Do we all dress alike? Do we all act alike? Do we all like the same food? No, 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 and no. So do we all make the same kind of art? Do we all have the same thoughts and creativity? No, and no. Do we all like the same kind of art? Yes and no. Yes, in that we like a lot of similar, and we can appreciate the artistry and, like Sylvia said, the effort. It makes me happy and it brings great joy to see the effort and to see the accomplishment of an artist because I know how it feels, even if that's not my kind of art. No, we don't all love the same kind of art. Doesn't mean we can't love the artist and the effort and appreciate everything that went into it. This is why I love this group. We encourage, support, teach, cajole, share, and oftentimes we empathize because our commonality is art, the art of creating. Exactly. Perfectly said, Sylvia. Perfectly said. Thank you. Margie, it is so much easier to give than it is to take. I am totally with you. It is so much easier for me to do, or to give. It is much more difficult, much more awkward. And it's because of how I grew up in that receiving felt selfish. I was made to feel that it was selfish. I will challenge your word take. It's easier to give, but hard to take. I challenge that word. I don't like the word take because I don't think that you take when somebody offers or would like to give to you. I think that word is receive. Take means I want something, I go take it. But receive means you want to give me something and I accept it. I receive it. And maybe if you can realign those two words, take and receive, get rid of take. There are not takers. You guys are not takers. We aren't takers. That's not the spirit of this group. But we can be receivers because we're also givers. It is easy to give because we know that this group isn't a bunch of takers. But please remember this. If everybody wants to give, there has to be somebody to receive. And if you can't receive or don't receive a gift someone else offers, you are denying them the happiness and joy of giving. And you don't want to be the one to deny somebody the joy of service, the joy of giving. So know that we love giving. We love your giving spirit. We love everybody giving. But we also we don't want takers. We want everybody to also be able to receive when the giving comes towards them. I'm 69. I've never been as accepted as I am in this group. That's amazing, Glennis. That's awesome. You know, it doesn't even matter what anybody's status in life is, what their age is, where they live. I mean, we accept Canadians, for heaven's sake. As Sylvia said, cajole. I love the spirit of humor in this group. I love that we can tease and play with each other because we know we love each other. Yeah, it doesn't matter. We're all the same. We're all artists. We come together in the art of creativity, whatever you're creating. That's why I'm always saying, please post your creative pictures in the group of everything, of anything. Debbie will post food items that she creates because she went to culinary school. Margie posts afghans that she has crocheted because she crochets gorgeous ones. You know, we want all of them. I love a good photographer's pictures because they are inspirational to me. So all of those things are inspirational, no matter what kind of art or creativity it is. Julie's, I don't know where that was, but hopefully that was a moment of clarity. It taken a long time to realize that. Makes sense. Good. When a soul says something nice, consider the possibility that God is using that person to tell you how much God loves you. Yes, blessings come in many forms. Yes, God knows what we need, and He blesses us through other people always. Always, 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 always through other people. He also blesses other people with us. So when He's using someone else to give or bring joy to you, if you don't receive it, you are denying the other person that opportunity, and God was giving them the opportunity to feel the joy of giving. We all love giving. If everybody gives and nobody receives, who are we going to give to? So give and receive. Receive, not take. Receive when offered. Let's see here. Subconsciousness, yes. Sometimes, too, it's not about the end product, but about the time you spend creating. I don't mind selling my journals because once it's done, I've gotten what I need out of it. Yeah, and now somebody else can take it and get what they need out of it. Then I just want to pass it on and have someone else enjoy it. Yep, Grandpa was not a nice dad. Dad had to figure out himself how to do things. See, Julie, it's always deeper and it always goes back. And it usually goes back multiple generations, and it's what they learned and were taught. And unless somebody took the time to stop and study and break the cycle continues. Most people do not even realize they're in that kind of cycle. That's what they were taught. Yeah, I do appreciate that he always said there's no such thing as can't. Yep, you keep trying until it works, because there's so many different ways to make something work. There is no such thing as can't. There's such thing as won't, but there's no such thing as can't. Well, I'm catching up here on the last comments. You guys have some plain white paper. Grab some. If you don't, grab some plain white paper, because want to do a couple things to help release creativity. A couple exercises that you can do anytime, any place. Let's see. Favorite name is Ray. Was such a ray of sunshine. Only one daughter name is not Ray. Oh, I love criticism so much. Not that I married the most critical man on earth. Oh, and I'll bet you've taught him how to share his opinion in a kind and gentle manner. Our talents were gifts from God. Imagine how sad it makes him to not see ourselves how he sees and loves us. Whatever you do is beautiful and enough. Amen, Dawn. Amen. Yes, everybody has talents and gifts and skills. You may not have recognized them or all of them yet, but everybody does have them. And think how sad you would be if you could see some amazing skills in your child, and every time somebody complimented them on it, that child just dismissed it and talked down about it negatively. Oh, no, it's not any good. And yeah, that would not make you happy. That's very well said. I appreciate how different we all are and continually inspired. Yes, we can appreciate the differences in each other we don't want to all be alike. How boring would that be if you went onto the group and everything you saw was exactly what you're making? That would be really boring. We don't want that. Must have missed that. Morning, Lucy. Good morning. Yeah, anybody who came in late might want to go back and listen to the first hour. You had a pretty darn good first hour. Lots of good comments. Love the happy mail you guys send out once in a while. Yeah, how fun is that? And that's something nice to receive. You're not taking it. You're not asking people for it. Glennis, love you. Yes, receive. Glennis, you raised a wonderful daughter with a wonderful mind and creativity. Yes. Love this group already. When do we love you too? We do. Canadians, such weirdos, eh? Yeah. That's why you fit in, Laura. We're all weird. We are all weird. I was going to say nobody's perfect, but what is perfect? Everybody's perfect. God, don't make no junk. Everybody's perfect. Everybody is exactly as they should be. That's what I say about that. You have awesome mom. Yes. Let's see. Okay, I am caught up. Just said yesterday, everyone has their own unique area of brilliance. Yes. Where's the paper? Okay, everybody got some paper. Sylvia, find the paper. Find the paper and pencil, pen, marker, Sharpie, anything that you can write on here with will work perfectly. Okay, so we have 40 minutes left. Boy, and I wondered if we would even fill our 2 hours. We could go 3 hours because I have I love psychology, and there are a lot of proven psychological ways to boost creativity. So when you're in a slump or you're just feeling like your creativity isn't at its peak and you want to boost your creativity a little bit, what do? There's things that you can do. And so let me whip through a couple of them while you're getting your paper. Everybody get your paper out and draw. If this is just 8.5 by 11, A4 works. Just draw 2 lines down and 1 line across. So you've got 6 squares on your paper. You could do that on a couple sheets. I think I did that on front and back of a couple. Do that, and I'll share a couple of them with you, and then we're going to do this exercise. There are exercises that you can do. There are different things that you can do. Some of them are very simple, and you might not think of them as creativity boosters, but they have been proven scientifically to boost creativity. And I only I'm only going to tell you a few here. There's lots of them. One is go for a walk. Now, for some people, that's a little more difficult than others. It might be hard to go for a walk. Maybe you can get outside and sit outside on the porch for a bit and just look outside and look around so that your environment changes, so that you see a different world, not out the window, but from outside than you see inside. The first time Doug and I rode motorcycles together, and we had his, hers, and ours. We each had our own motorcycle, and then we had a Honda Goldwing, one of those great big ones that's like sitting in your recliner, the back. You can fall asleep in the back. We would take that one on long road trips, and we had our helmets had microphones where we could talk to each other, and sitting in the back there was armrests, and we could actually we went from Phoenix to Amarillo in one day, Amarillo, Texas. I think it was 11 hours because we would just switch drivers. Person on the back would take a little nap back there because you're not going to fall out. And we would just drive for an hour or two, pull off of an off ramp and switch drivers, get right back on to the freeway and go again. But we needed to make good time and get there for an event. And the reason I tell you this is because the first time we took a road trip on the Goldwing was when we came to Utah to see my parents. And driving from Arizona to into Utah, between Arizona and Utah, down south there's more national parks in Utah than any state. There's Zion's and Bryce, and there's just a lot of them. And there's the Grand Canyon down there in Arizona, and there's Monument Valley. And the scenery is so spectacular. And when you drive in a car and you look out the window, it's just awe-inspiring. But we drove on the motorcycle, and when I was driving once, and Doug was sitting in the back, and he's looking around and he's looking up, and we always wore helmets, and they were full face. But you could turn your head around and you could see everywhere. You could see above you, around you. There was no bit of car in the way. There was no roof of car in the way. And driving through some of those amazing natural wonders and having that kind of view and just feeling like you're in the middle of it was so spectacular. And I'll never forget, as we were driving through, and Doug was just silent for a while. And then he said, I never want to take a road trip any other way than on a motorcycle. I've never, ever seen the world like this. Of course, we're not going to do that forever because, it would be nice. But it is true. It is true. And he was absolutely right. You see the world differently. And just stepping outside and looking at the world, as opposed to looking at it through your window, you are going to see a different view. It's going to spark different creative chemicals in your brain. And it has been proven scientifically that we are more creative if we walk or when we are walking than when we are sitting. So get up and pace the room, go outside, walk around the yard, even just walk around your own yard and back in, because sometimes we can't go very far. Sometimes I'll go out and take a walk around the backyard, walk out to get the mail and back, suck in some fresh air and feel the sunshine and look at the grass and feel the wind. If you can't walk down the street, it doesn't have to be a long walk, but we are more creative when we are walking than when we are sitting. Let's see here. Okay, everybody got your paper? We can talk about some more of these as we go along, but I really want to do this exercise because this is an exercise that can really spark creativity. You can do it anywhere, anytime. And if you're just feeling a moment of slump, you can stop and do this. So if you have a piece of paper and you've divided it into 6 sections, I want you just to draw what I'm drawing in the section. Now, here's the thing. It doesn't have to be exact to what I do. Just make it look kind of like what mine is. Okay. It just needs to be similar. It just needs to be similar. And I'm going to do this with you. And I haven't done this. So this isn't something I'm doing and I'm repeating. I'm doing it fresh. I mean, this is fresh every time I do it, but I'm going to do it, you know, fresh with this, just like you're doing it. Once you've got these 6, I'm going to flip it over and do 6 more on the back. Julie, grab a piece of paper, Julie. Just make 6 sections. I mean, you don't have to have the lines, but for me, it's easier to delineate some sections and just write what I wrote. It doesn't have to be exact. This is not an exercise of what you draw. It's not an exercise of creating a specific picture. It's not an exercise of it needs to be exactly what I did. It's an exercise of creativity, and you'll see what I mean. So just make it similar to what I did. Okay, those 6. So let's flip it over, do 6 more on the back. Oops, I guess I should start up here. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter where you do them. I normally do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, but it really doesn't matter. Okay. Okay, so flip it over and make those 6 now. All right, I have to put you on mute for about 60 seconds. It'll give you a chance to finish those 6. I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. All right, so I'm going to flip it back to the front side because that's where we're going to start. So if you didn't get the front complete, here's the front. It's okay, Julie. It really won't matter. And you can do this again. You can do this with, anytime. If I'm doing it alone, I like to put on a little timer and time myself because the idea is to get through this exercise as quickly as possible. and maybe you can do both sides in 3 minutes. And you do put different things down here every time. We can do some more. We can do another one after this. We'll probably have time for one more. So here's what we do. We're going to say go. And then we're all going to go to each little square, and using the thing that we have there, we're going to add on to that and draw something, anything. But here is what you have to remember. It doesn't matter how it looks. It doesn't have to look good. In the end, you might have to tell me, okay, that's an ant. Okay, the idea was that you created an ant. It doesn't matter how the ant looks. And we'll talk about that more after. So do not stop and take your time and think, oh, I'm making a mountain and it's awful. Just make the mountain and go. Go to the next one. It doesn't matter. The point of the exercise, it's irrelevant how the picture looks. It's just drawing a picture with it. Okay? So, goodness, I have no idea here. This is all, I always start thinking, oh, I have no idea. And then I just have to do it. So I just do it. So ready, set, go. Okay? Ready, set, go. Just take whatever we've got here and make something. Upside down heart. All righty. Oh I don't have. Oh my goodness. Having a hard time. Okay, I'm going to go over here because oh man, why are these really stumping me? I need to release my brain because it's getting hung up. And I just need to, it doesn't even matter what it is I'm drawing. Why can't I think of anything that has this shape even as part of it? Okay. Here we go. Okay. And this one. Okay. If you are done with this side one, say done in comments. Glennis is done. Number 2 is a mouse. Yeah, it is a mouse. Look how many legs he's got. Started out a bug, and I'm like, that is not a bug. That's a mouse. Mice don't have antlers or antenna, so we got some big fat ears. That is funny. All my ants are dead. A spider. Yeah. Okay. Judy's done. Cool. Who else is done? And then we'll talk about what the point of it was. It is fun. Toby's done. Awesome. Now, I want you to look at these. These are not great pictures. Can you tell what that one is? That's his ear. He's just peeking out behind the wall. It's an elephant. That's his trunk. I could not come up and done with all. No rules, right? Yes, because you moved the paper. No rules at all. Here, and this is elbows. Can you see this is a person? These were 2 people. What I saw was 2 elbows linked there. And so those are 2 people that have elbows linked. This was supposed to be a Volkswagen Bug. It looks more like one of those old-fashioned vintage silver campers. 8-figure figure 8 dirt track. Oh, that was a great idea. I can't believe it. Your last one is the same as mine. And didn't look. You did the elbows too? Nice. Dawn is done. Wendy's done. Awesome. Okay, so here's the point of the exercise. What did you guys make with number 1? All I saw was an upside down heart. The point of the exercise is not how well you drew. That doesn't matter. That's not creativity. That's skill. Number 4, a log inside of a tree. Oh, good idea. Yeah. The drawing is skill, and we can learn skill. We're not talking about skill. We're talking about creativity. So the point of it is to look at something, doodle, a scribble, and let it spark creativity in your mind of what else it could be, what it's just the start of, or what it's a part of. Okay, what is this curly thing here? Probably could have been a lot of things. My brain just got stuck on those 2 curls. I don't know why. This was easy. This was easy. I just got hung up on that. So the idea is to let your brain be creative on what is that a part of? What can it be? What can I make that into? Not how well am I drawing it? Doesn't matter. I can learn that skill later. Okay, let's flip it over to the second side. Ooh, sister's name is Marilyn. Did you turn that into a fancy Marilyn? Let's flip it over to the second side and do the same thing. 2 of yours are just shapes. Okay. So now, Julie, I challenge you to make a thing. And again, don't worry about the quality of the drawing. We are not talking skill here. We're talking creativity. So you don't even have to be able to tell what my thing is. As long as I'm drawing a thing, that means my brain was able to think creatively enough to turn this into that. Draw 4 faces, a turtle, lips, a nose, a torso. Lips would have been a good one for number 1. A Mickey Mouse hand, a house. Wow. Nice. Number 3, bee flying. Oh, wow. Wow. You guys are really creative. Really creative. I love it. Okay, so let's flip it over to the second side. And if you happen to already do the second side because you were way faster than me, grab your next piece of paper and do these again. Just write some doodles. They don't have to even be the same ones. Just write some basic doodle, just something to start with, and do it again. A lightning strike and slopes. Wow. I would love to see them. Okay, this is the thing that will be posted in the group for Monday Jumpstart Creativity. Hashtag Monday Jumpstart Creativity. This exercise is what we're going to post. And I wasn't going to tell you that till the very end because I don't want you, Julie, to get hung up on how horrible the drawings are. Come on. I'm going to post this. This is the worst mouse you've ever seen. It doesn't matter. It's not about the skill of drawing. It's about the creativity of turning a circle into a mouse, or, a swirl into an elephant's trunk. It's all about creativity. And everybody who is here knows that. So, anyway, yes, can I enhance? Sure, you can do whatever you want to it. Get creative. All right, let's go on the other side. Let's do it. Oh, wow. I'm really stumped. I'm stumped on everything. Let's see here. Okay. Oops. That came in at the wrong place. Oh, crap. Not where it attaches. I'll see if I can make it bigger. That's going to be the string with a handle. And oh boy. Let's see here. Mm-hmm. Now I see something different. That's awful. Let's see. Oh, I cannot draw petals. Okay. Tell me when you're done with this side. Snake, fence. Now, a snake would have been good for that. Mountain landscape, witch profile. Oh, box and the Grand Canyon. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, I saw a snow-capped mountain range here, and then once I started doing that, I started seeing other things, but kind of late to change it there. So this side, yeah, it was a little more difficult, and they seemed like just very simple shapes, didn't they? So all they are is simple shapes, but we see these shapes all the time. What else can those shapes be? No negative self-talk. See? Curly tulip. 2 is a vine. Oh, that was a good idea. Grasshopper jumping. Oh, brilliant. Creeping plant in the yard. Wow. Part of a window frame. Check on my piano lessons. Wow. Oh, yeah. You guys are great. Judy, are you taking piano lessons or do you give piano lessons? Those are some good. I'd gone with a dunce cap. It does look like a dunce cap, doesn't it? Oh, that's funny. That is funny. Yeah, and I thought, oh, don't do 2 flowers. But this one's a daisy like that. And then this one, I saw 2 flowers coming up at a grass where there was nothing else, just 2 flowers. You took them. Awesome. I play the piano too. Fish, jump rope. Didn't get number 3. Horseshoe, an envelope. Oh, and desert plant. Wow. Okay. You guys got some great things. Okay, let's do one more. This one we're going to do a little bit differently. I'll just set that right there. This one, I didn't get them on the back of that one, so I'll use that one. This one, instead of squiggles or doodles or whatever to build upon, this one is going to be all shapes. So if you will, in the first one, draw a circle. And don't already have in mind what you're going to make with it. Just put a small, kind of smallish circle in the center. I have no idea. Right now I'm focused on getting some shapes. Put a square in the second one. Put a triangle in the third one. Let's put a rectangle in the fourth one. Let's put a hexagon. That's 5 sides. 1, 2, 3. Whoops, I'm going to totally run out of, I cannot do a hexagon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nobody said it has to be perfect. It just has to be a shape. That's all. This is not about the skill. It's about the creativity. And what shape? How about a diamond? Of course, it looks like a kite. Okay, glasses, flower, jack-o'-lantern, a horseshoe, 3D box, and a dunce cap. Awesome. Wow. And look how this is part of the proof that we're all different. We're all looking at the exact same thing. We're all starting with the exact same thing. But still, our thought process, our way of thinking, what we see in the world when we look at this squiggle has been different for every single person. And we can enjoy and love and appreciate all of them. They don't have to be like ours. But we can like them all. Okay, so everybody have their shapes, and then we'll flip it over and we'll see if we can come up with 6 more shapes for the back. Ready? Okay, let's go. Well, we got 10 minutes. We're good. We're good on time. Oops, can't draw a straight line either, can I? Feels like my pen is markers running out, so I think these are harder with shapes. I think just squiggly lines are easier. But gotta think of something different than a kite. It's not very creative. I keep just using the same thing all over again. Shape. Let's see. Oh. Okay. About 5 minutes. Taking forever. Hi, Cheryl. Yeah, we have about 5 minutes left. Cheryl, when you have time, go back and watch this. Even speed it up a little bit. Watch it. It's been an awesome day. What did you guys get? What did you guys come up with here? Which, oh, good. Your mom and dad just came over. Awesome. Enjoy your time with them, Wendy. Thank you for being here. Yes, blessings and hugs to you too. It's been a wonderful day. Enjoy your time with your parents. That's awesome. Headlight. What a great idea. Christmas tree. Oh, sailboat, truck, engagement ring, tiara. Great ideas. Snowman, trailer. Wow, caution. Snowman was great. Greenhouse. She shed a big ring on my finger. I love it. Love it. Like the campfire. You can tell it's a campfire. Yay. After I was drawing it, I thought, oh, I could have just made the tent. I looked at that and couldn't think of a tent. Hope I didn't offend. First one is a finger pointing. Oh, no, that was the circle. How I'm not following. I can't wait to see your picture. This is supposed to be a sun. I did a horrible job. Horrible job on the sun. It's supposed to be, the big sun's brightness rays there. But again, remember, it is not about the skill, the art of drawing. This is about the creativity of coming up with something to turn those shapes into. It's an exercise in creativity, not an exercise in drawing. Can you tell what my number 2 is? Thought the triangle was a gnome. Oh, that would have been good too. Looks like it might be the bird. Let's see. Stop the negative self-talk. Yes, it was harder. I thought it was harder, Dawn, but that just makes my creativity work harder. And see, that's like the tell us what to do nights. Everybody's afraid of doing that. I like those nights because they challenge me, because I can't think of what to do most of the time. So I just start doing something, and it really gets your creativity going. And it's not just for the moment. It's not that, not just that you got creative right there, but it teaches your creativity in your brain how to function, how to work, how to be more creative. Jack in the box. Yes, it's a duck in the box. Hey, do ducks have little striped hats or little rings of springs in them? It does kind of look duck-like, doesn't it, Cheryl? Nope, that's my Jack in the Box, my campfire. This one is a table. Thought if I turn it sideways, it's a table all set with plates and food. The stop sign. And I'm looking at this diamond, and I thought, if I go just to this angle, now I see a square Monopoly board from an angle sitting down. Somebody's playing Monopoly. Because I couldn't think of anything for that. It's a witch. It does look like a witch. Okay, so your challenge is to post these 3. Take a picture of all 3. 1, 2, and 3. Do it again if you want. All you need to do is draw some shapes. You could use the same shapes. You could use the same squiggly lines and challenge yourself to draw something different. Time yourself and see how long it takes. And the idea is just to come up with something, anything, as quickly as you can, because that it trains your the creative part of your brain. It trains it to be creative. Again, we don't care what the drawing looks like. It's not an exercise in skill. It's an exercise in creativity. Yes, see, you can tell my spider. I hate spiders, but that was perfect for a spider. So this has been a lot of fun, guys. We could seriously keep talking for another hour because there are just a lot more things that we can do to get our creativity going. So maybe every now and then we'll do a creativity workshop, do another exercise, talk about some more things that can get our creativity going. And now that it's really coming to mind for you, when you have those moments where you need a creativity boost, think about what you do and what helps you and jot those things down. And then next time we do a creativity workshop, you can say, hey, I tried this and it worked. Or I tried this and it didn't work. And that's how we learn. We share, and we love, love, love the sharing. It was fun. Who's going to do more? Yes, you should do more. Let's do that. Let's talk for another hour. Oh my goodness, another hour. Um, um, I can probably do a half an hour. Okay. All right. I could do another half an hour. Flip this one over. Let's do another one. I can do a half an hour. We can go to 2:30. All right. So make the shapes that I make in your squares. Cheryl, you got a piece of paper. You're here now. You got to do it. You got to do it. You got me to stay half an hour, Cheryl. You got to do it. And then you got to go back and listen to the first hour or two. I think you'll really enjoy it. Julie, I thought you said you were going to do more. Flip it over and let's do this. Draw that. Let's draw this. Okay, that's not a lollipop. Or that is a lollipop, and you have to turn it to something different. How's that? Just make these as similar, as close. They don't have to be exactly. Bye, Laura. Thanks for being here. Yeah, we'll extend it up to a half an hour, and then I have to go. I got something going on here. So let's see. It's kind of the opposite of that one, but it has bend to it. We enjoyed having you here, Laura. When you have time, try it out. Try out the exercise. It's amazing. We start trying to think of things to draw, and again, it doesn't matter how good the drawing is, because it's not an exercise in skill. It's an exercise in creativity. The creativity is your brain thinking of something to turn this into. Finger pointing, chair, person with a party hat on, chain link fence. Oh, that's a good one. Direction sign at kite. Good ones, Gigi. Judy, thank you for saying that. Been one of the greatest 2 hours spent. I love that. I appreciate that. We had a similar type discussion the very first Monday Jumpstart of the year. If you guys have missed any of the Monday Jumpstarts, you might want to go back. We're only in April, so you can catch up. You can watch them all. Nope, got to do taxes. This is taxes are not fun. Yep, I totally understand it. Okay. Who's doing it with me? Who's going to do this last one with me? Maybe I can share with you too a few more ideas of things that you can do that have been proven psychologically to boost creativity. Okay, perfect. Let's go. Let's go right now. Let's turn this into something. Can't draw straight either, but it doesn't matter. Not an exercise in skill. It's an exercise in creativity. Ooh. One more. Oh, okay. Let's see. All right. What have you guys got? Bye, Judy. Beer, sand timer, cutlery, highway, glass of champagne, yelling person. Oh, that's a great idea. Glass of champagne. That was a good one. That was a good one. Um, Dawn, I'm so glad that you were here. Someone draw a toilet. Julie, what did you get? Okay, I've got a vase of flowers. This is a picnic table with 2 picnic benches. This is a quartet. They're singing. They're holding their music. This is a twisty road between the mountains. This is that planet. I don't know my solar system. It's a planet. This is a skateboarder doing a half pipe. Probably could have got a toilet out of one of those, huh, Margie? A vase, a desk, puppy. Oh, pregnant woman. Oh, that was a good one. Bracelet. Yeah, elephant. Yeah, see how sit here and think, oh, I can't think of anything. And you could talk to 10 other people, and 10 people would have done something different with that. Bracelet's a great idea. Pregnant woman out of the shape. Yeah, brilliant. Got a chalkboard, a bag of flour, a sailboat, a do not walk sign, and a kite. Wow. Palm tree, manger, balloons, road with cars on it, upside down skateboard, ring with diamond. Wow. See how everybody's different? That's really awesome. So how about a couple more things? A very nursey thing to think of a pregnant woman, I suppose. Well, when you look at that shape, if that's what it brings to mind, maybe it's because that's what you've seen recently. You know, that's where the creativity is looking at a shape, looking at a line, a design, and being able to let your brain create something different with it than what it already is or what you're seeing with it. A couple more ideas of things that you can do to boost your creativity. One thing is to create some distance. We always say, well, get up and walk away from it and then come back later. And that is true. That does work. Sometimes you've looked at something for so long, you can only see it one way. When you leave it and come back, you're seeing it with fresh eyes. But create some distance also in a way of thinking that this came from a far off land and it's just being presented to you, and distancing yourself from it, and you're just seeing it for the first time. And maybe that's when you walk away and you come back, that's how you look at it. Get emotional. Okay, both strong positive and strong negative emotions have been linked to creativity. These are scientifically proven that strong emotions, both positive and negative, increase your creativity. So negative emotions can be unpleasant. So when you have them, if you have them, make the best of it and use them on something productive. So if you're in a bad mood, take those negative emotions and use that on something productive to create something. I grew up playing the piano. I started playing when I was 5. And if I was in a bad mood or there was something negative, I would go sit down at the piano and just pound away. And I could play for hours. And it just, be creative there musically. That was a great way to, it really helped me express my creativity. And even though I didn't like the negativity or I didn't like the negative emotion, but using it in a positive way like that can really make a difference. Strong positive emotions. If you're feeling some strong positive emotions for whatever the circumstance is, use that as a time to be creative. Think of a bowl of M&M and salad. Oh, a bowl of M&Ms would have been great. That would have been good for this one too. Did you know that the color blue helps to encourage people to think outside the box? That so y'all know, you've heard that blue is associated with nature and peace and tranquility, relaxation, those kinds of things. But the color blue has been proven to help people feel safe, to explore, and be creative. So if you need to bring out the creativity, bring some blue things around you. Maybe put on a blue shirt. Set a few blue things on your desk so that you can see them. Maybe make yourself a blue book. And so when you need those moments of creativity or you really want to jumpstart it, you get the blue book out and you look through the blue journal or junk journal or whatever it is, album that you made in blue. So just remember that we all know we equate blue to tranquility and peace and all of that we've heard forever. But blue is also very specifically linked to feeling safe and safe to explore and be creative. So another thing is nothing and no one. Do nothing with no one. That's hard for a lot of people. It's hard for a lot of people just to sit down, go for a walk, whatever it is, and do nothing with no one. When you're doing nothing, not watching TV, you're not specifically trying to make something, you're not cleaning, you're not anything, you just go plop yourself on the couch and you're doing nothing with no one. So you're not holding a conversation or answering your phone or on Facebook or any of the things. You're doing nothing with no one. You're sitting there in solitude. That's when your mind can start to wander. And that's when it can start to explore ideas. And you'd be surprised what kind of creativity emerges when you allow yourself the opportunity to sit with nothing and no one. I love doing that. You're going to die of laughter when you see my elephant. Can't wait to see your elephant. Did you see my elephant? There's my elephant, Cheryl. Smarties. Oh, I remember Smarties. Blue is your favorite color. It's good for many things, isn't it, Margie? Not sure that works for me. And Candy is gracious with her shares. Yes. Thanks for staying extra. Oh, you're so welcome. I know you just got here and we hate to see you or have you miss out on all the interaction. So we'll have a few minutes of interaction. Then you go back and watch the first 2 hours that led up to this. And Toby is right up the road from me. Wow. Nice. You are so welcome, Sylvia. Thanks for being here. That's a nice elephant. Yeah. His trunk. As long as you can tell it's an elephant, then that's okay. When I was growing up, if I was doing nothing, all my mind went to were the bad things that were happening. Glad it's not. Julie, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. As an adult, we know that we can control our thoughts a little bit more. And so when that happens, we can take charge of that. This is a whole nother discussion session, but let me just share with you one quick thing since you brought that up. And that is that we, no matter what circumstance we're in, we always have feelings about our circumstance. Okay. We always have thoughts about our circumstance. So I'm in this circumstance right now, sitting at my desk. I'm going to have thoughts about that. Whatever those thoughts are, those thoughts will create feelings that I will have about it. Whatever the feelings are that I have about it, that will create actions that I take. And whatever actions I take determine the results that I get, right? So our circumstances cause thoughts. Our thoughts bring on feelings. Our feelings determine our actions, and our actions absolutely determine our results. So in any area of your life, if you are not getting the results that you want, whether it's in a relationship, whether it's with yourself, whether it's things that make you feel horrible, whatever it is, know this. You can change that by changing your thoughts. Whatever the circumstance is, your thoughts about it. And so if you take that backwards, if I want to change the results, I have to go back and I have to change my thoughts. If I can change the circumstance, great. But if I can't change the circumstance, then I need to change my thoughts about it. That will change my feelings about it. My feelings will determine my actions, and my actions bring about the results. So if I don't like the results, I'm going back to the start. Change the circumstances and or change your thoughts. Learn that Jesus is the best place to go when things are bad. Yeah. But no matter what it is, we can always change our thoughts about it. I hoped that today, like the first hour discussion that we had, I hoped that some of that would give some of you some different thoughts about creativity and about your own artistry and being, fear, all those things that we talked about. Some of the things that I shared with you there. I was hoping that it would help you to allow some different thoughts into your mind, so that your feelings would then be different about that circumstance or those circumstances, and then your actions will be different and your results will be different. And it's a continual cycle, but it's true about every single thing in our life. Even from a Christian perspective, that is very true. We have a choice about what to think about because of what Christ did on the cross. Absolutely. What happened to your other two ladies, Debbie and Candy? Oh, they all had some things going on today. So it's a perfect day for me to do a creative workshop. It's if he hadn't have had a victory over death, we'd be stuck thinking negative things. Yes. And we find ourselves sometimes in a pattern of thinking negative things now. But we can choose how we think about whatever circumstance there is or whatever person there is, all those things. And what we think about it is going to create our feelings about it. However we feel about something is going to create our actions. And our actions are absolutely going to create the results that we get. So if there's something in your life that you don't like the results that you're getting, go back, think about that backwards, think about the circumstance. Can I change the circumstance? And if I can't, I need to stop and think, all right, what am I thinking about that circumstance that's negative, that's bringing down the road negative results? What can I think positively about that? And if you want to talk about that further personally, privately, just let me know. If you have something in particular and you're not quite sure how to work through that process, I've done it. It's a great process. It's a great process. Change your thoughts. Yes, yes, yes. Definitely like that. Okay, it is 2:24. We're going to go ahead and close now. Thursday, don't forget Thursday, mass make. Here, let me bring this up here. Hashtag Monday Jumpstart Creativity. What you need to post in the group is your pictures that you made. Remember, it's not, nobody's going to judge your drawing. If you judge my drawing, I'm going to laugh at your comment because it's not an exercise in drawing. It's not an exercise in the skill. It was an exercise in creativity. So we want to see all the different creative thoughts that we had, taking the same swirly and turning it into completely different things. That's what's cool about creativity. So hashtag Monday Jumpstart Creativity to put these pictures in. Thursday will be hashtag mass make triple pockets, and we are going to make a triple pocket on Thursday. It takes one sheet of 8.5 by 11. It could be single-sided or double-sided. I'll probably try to use double-sided. There would only be a small side of the single-sided that would stick out, and I would probably just ink that up. But I'll probably try to use double-sided just so I don't have to bother doing that. But 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, one per triple pocket, and we will mass make those on Thursday. And then don't forget to come back in as soon as we end. You can come back into this one. You can come back into any any of the videos on the YouTube channel, Happy Paper People, right here where we are right now. Comment on any of them, comment on all of them. In your comment, leave hashtag 1000 subs. Don't forget that. The comment alone is not going to get you in the drawing. The hashtag 1000 subs is going to. If you already commented, you can edit that comment and add that in if you want to. But you can comment on every video that's in there. And as we approach 1,000, as we get to 1,000 subscribers, I am filling up a nice fun box of crafty goodies. It's going to be fun for somebody to win that. It's just going to have a ton. It's going to be a flat rate box just full of a ton of stuff. Nothing giant like a book. So that would take up too much space. Smaller things that we can use in the book so that you can get way more things. So let's see. Thank you for this workshop. Thank you, ladies, for the input. Very inspirational. It was. You guys are always inspirational to me. I appreciate you being here. I enjoy this time with you so much. I really like Monday Jumpstart. I think that it's a great way to start the week off, with something positive, with something creative. I'm even doing something that we haven't done before oftentimes, and that makes us more creative. Anytime you have the opportunity to try something different, try it, because that gets your creativity going, and you'll be more creative even in the things that you do all the time. So always there to talk for anybody anytime. Have a grand rest of your day. Hugs and love to all. Thank you for coming, guys, and I'll see you in the group, and I'll see